What's up, guys, and welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. I'm Hassan. That there is my good friend Dan, and we're going to talk about Young Justice Phantoms, the penultimate episode. And man, is it penultimate as could possibly be. I've been told I do summaries that are far too long. So the summary of this episode is everything hits the fan. Nightwing dies in this episode. Rocket dies in this episode. Superman is about to get killed in this episode. Zod escapes, and it's awesome. Everything about it is awesome, and we can just talk about our feelings about the episode. Because obviously, if you guys watch the show, you've been with this all season, and I read your comments. You guys are the most invested fan base out of any of the things I review, and I love it. But let's talk about our feelings. Nightwing dying broke my heart. I knew he died when he fell immediately.
I don't know. It's one of those ones where when he did that, part of me was like, did he just die? And then the other part was, this is Nightwing. He was trained by Batman. Is he doing some weird thing that he is like close to death, but he's capable of slowing his heartbeat down so that they don't hear? So it's like
his head is in a pool of blood.
It was one of those ones where it's like, I know that he's probably dead.
Yeah.
But I also know that this is a Bat family member. This is superheroes. I would not be surprised if something saves. Maybe once they leave Kellex, the robot that like takes care of the Fortress of Solitude, maybe he comes over, does something to like help him heal up or something. I don't fully believe he is dead. I think they made it heavily seem like he is.
I will tell you why I think he's dead, and I know why Rocket is also dead, and why this is literally the worst possible thing that could happen. And do you know why? Do you have this feeling too? I think we talked about potentially having a prediction. Do you have the same prediction that I do?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
It's a time travel episode. It's going to be... We've been doing time travel all season. Young Justice never touched it.
I see it.
So they're going to do an episode, and they're only going to be able to do it once, and it's going to be hopefully one of the main... It's going to be one of the main team members, or at least two of them, and they're going to travel back in time, and they're going to fix all this, because Nightwing did die. Like, there's no question about it, right? He went in there, he fought a Kryptonian, and was thrown into a building. Rocket was in a boom tube when it closed. There's no way she survived that.
Rocket being in the boom tube, I want, like, with your whole time travel theory, I could see that being related. Like, where is the space between the boom tube, and they could utilize that in some way, because they've never gone into that.
Rocket would have the fairest chance to survive that because of the force bubbles, right? And in theory, could survive the vacuum space, but I don't know. I think if Young Justice does this kind of time travel, it's really, really dangerous, and it's a thing they can only do once.
Yeah.
And they have to find a reason to then just nix time travel altogether, because it's really dangerous. It was dangerous to introduce the story arc into the show, but here we are, and I feel like there's no other way, because Nightwing... I do think Nightwing is dead. The way that was shot, the way it looked, it wasn't like the art when Artemis died in season 2, where it was very camp. Like, you knew she didn't die.
Right.
You kind of had the theory the entire time. Kaldur's not going to kill her. But with Nightwing's death, it was so real.
The reason why I'm also like hesitant is we do have so many heroes that would be capable of healing or something like that. That's why I'm very reluctant to say that I think he's fully dead. I think he probably is, but I think there's a heavy possibility that we will get superhero things to somehow revive him, or maybe even the time travel thing, because we do have a speedster that can time travel, as well as the Legion of Superheroes.
I don't think Bart can time travel.
They have the
cosmic treadmill.
It's in the bioship.
It helps them move fast. It doesn't help them travel in time.
In the comics, they
use
it for it.
In the comics, they do. In Young Justice, Greg Weisman's really, really adamant, because that was always the theory, right? Like, Wally West in season 2, when he was ran into the future. Greg Weisman is really, really adamant that, like, in their world, metahuman powers exist. The Speed Force does not exist. It may exist in the future, but at this current juncture, all the speedsters are just fast metahumans with similar power sets. They're not tapping into the Speed Force.
There's a first time for everything.
There is. And I think if they were to do it, they would have done it.
Because we could get the trauma of losing Nightwing and this happening to Connor could be one of those ones that they use as like this is the spark of...
Right. Well, I think it would be earned. I think if they're going to do that, right, if they ever introduce the Speed Force, they have to do it through Wally, right? So, and Wally's not coming back this season. I don't think he should.
Well, I can see them doing it with Bart.
But Bart hasn't gotten much agency in the last 2 seasons. Like, he hasn't been able to do enough. So I think when there's going to be a little bit more focus, not just to him as a person, and not just because I feel like I like him a lot with the Legion of Superhero people, but we don't ever talk about his depression of losing his future and all the ramifications of that stuff, if that makes sense. That isn't touched on the way it probably should be. So if we do get it from Bart, it would have to be Bart when he's just with the main cast. If Beast Boy does something really special this season, it makes sense. He's been the main, one of the main characters. He feels like one of the core 5 right now, and Bart doesn't feel like a core 5 right now. He feels like a really important adjacent character. It was, dude, watching Nightwing die was just so heartbreaking.
That entire that entire sequence, because it goes it gives you no time to breathe, because it's Nightwing, okay, Rocket, okay, Superboy's going in this weird direction. Okay. I will say I really liked. I actually really liked the fact that they had Zod not trust that was his son.
Oh my God. It was Zod's evil. They're so evil. And then the Emerald Empress. I don't know if you're a Legion of Superheroes guy, but I'm a big Legion guy.
That one was no way.
There's no way we're doing this.
There's no way. At first I was like, Green Lantern? No, but I know that it's similar powers-ish.
It's similar. It's just a little bit more powerful, or it uses a different set, less constructs, more green energy plus omniscience.
Yeah.
When he blows up Bioship, I hope Bioship isn't dead, because Bioship was supposed to retire. Their little reunion with when Bioship came up, where he goes, "I'll be right back," and Bart runs off and go get it. I loved it. It makes, because Bioship is a character. It's a character we've spent a lot of time with, being genuinely close with. It seems ridiculous because it's always oh, good girl. And they're touching the console of this machine. But yeah, it's I hope Bioship didn't die, but God, that was such a dark, grim moment. I loved when they used Bioship to go to Earth, though. That was genius.
Especially the way that they did it, of the comboing up of the speed, the bubble from the Green Lantern. I thought that was very well done, and one of those, they really thought it through to not just be oh, they went back fast.
They did, and I like this show a lot for that. I also like that they started calling Kaiser Thrall Mother Thrall, because it has the mother box on top of it.
Yep.
It was just, it's little things like that. I hate Ma'ala Fa'ak.
Oh yeah, dude.
He needs to be killed or unredeemable. I'm so tired of his character where he's people didn't like me on Mars, so I decided genocide. What the hell is your problem, dude? You suck. You suck so bad, it makes me sick. I can't stand that character, so I'm hoping that I can't say that as in he's poorly written. He's wonderfully written. I'm supposed to hate him.
Yeah.
But it's just dude, what are we even doing right now? Because Nightwing, also, Dick, you did not just throw bombs at Kryptonians in a pod.
I can see the thought process.
Your mind?
I can see the thought process.
If they're weak enough, it would have killed them.
Well, not even just that. The slowing down so they don't get powered up, because it is nighttime still.
He should have run immediately back in the boom tube with reconnaissance. It was so dangerous, because he throws a kick at Lord Zod, and then and Lord Zod kills him, and then he kills the guy. Yeah. And for everybody that's I don't think Nightwing is dead because he's too iconic. I think that he is dead. He's obviously coming back, but he did die. He died a lot worse than Connor Kent did. Connor went to the Phantom Zone. Nightwing is dead. I think they're going to do a time travel episode, which I'm okay with. I'm genuinely okay with it, because it just depends on who's riding the ship, right? Who do you want to be the time traveling people? I want Connor to be the time traveling person. I want his mind to be fixed, and that he has to fix everything that he just caused.
I could see Miss Martian going back and trying to get to Connor another way.
Mm-hmm.
I think in this episode there were a lot of catalysts that were put into action, because we have Bioship dying, but it's on the planet Earth where baby Bioship is. So we have that aspect just in the background. We've got, is Wolfie still alive? Is the wolf still alive?
Wolf lives on the Kent farm with Ma and Pa Kent.
Wolf lives on the Kent farm. Connor has just been shown to the world. So we have that. We've got Beast Boy, who is seeing that his friend is still alive, might go and try to also be a connection to be like, no, Connor, what are you doing? I think something's going to happen to prevent Connor from killing Superman. I feel like something's going to blast him off. I don't think he's going to kill him. I don't think he is. But then we've also got Dick dying. So a lot of heroes are going to be into that because we've still got Orphan somewhere. Like we kind of had her arc. She did her thing. She's kind of with Lady Shiva. Basically, we've got so many like different players in the game that, good or bad, would not want Zod to take over. They're in a main city. Obviously, they're going to have agents or something there. I think we're going to get some big fights. I don't know how I feel about time travel, if that is the direction that they go. Like, I feel like it could be there.
Endgame did it beautifully, so if you do it like Endgame, you can make it happen. Like, I don't know what that means, but I've seen it be done one time really, really well, and I loved it. So, you know.
I mean, they easily could, because we do have multiple characters who have stated their experience with time travel, as well as why they are capable of time traveling without it like affecting things too much. Like, we do have those groups that they have touched on multiple times to make it clear. Here's another aspect that I'm not sure if you thought about. Darkseid. Darkseid gave Lord Zod the Kaiser Thrall to basically get Zod into the fold. Boom tubes are instant transmission, basically. What if Darkseid boom tubes in? Like, there are so many factors that if you think about this entire season as a whole, they have laid seeds in so many different spots. Because we also have New Genesis has a role in this now. Like, we've got Razor somewhere out there. Like, there are
Razor's not coming back down.
I don't know. You never know. You never know. Okay, I'm just saying.
I hope so. Look, I hope Razor comes
like
back.
There are so many different players in the game that have connections to the people that are there. Like, we've got the entire Justice League. We've got the entire like, there's just so many different people that they could have come out of the fold for this one, and I think there's going to be so much potential. And if you are right that there's time travel, I think it's going to be one of those ones where all of these people do come out of the shadows and just get slaughtered. And it basically becomes one of those, like,
Justice
okay,
League,
like, we
Dark
kind of
Apocalypse
lost.
War.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of one of those, like, that we can't let this happen. Like, we can let a few people die. I hate to say it like that, but we can let some people die because that's just life. But losing everyone, losing the planet Earth to Zod, because if that happens, Darkseid's going to show up, fight Zod, kick his butt, take over. Earth gets terraformed. We got Earth 2.
He can't.
Like,
or what do you call it? Darkseid's not going to do that yet because he still has his deal with Vandal Savage, and Vandal Savage is the owner of Earth until it's time for them to wage their galactic war.
While true, Darkseid basically
would win.
Owns Zod.
Bro, what's Zod's goddamn problem? He's just general. Got here. But like, I get it. Didn't you just like come back to living? Why are you trying to take over this planet right now?
Because that's what he does.
He's a
and
dick.
You got to also remember, this is a guy that has had a lifelong hate towards the House of El, has just been released from the prison he was in for like way too long because of the House of El. Yeah. Shows up to this planet, and I'm pretty sure the reason why he's taking it over is basically because he sees hero of the planet, Superman. And so it's basically him going, no, you took my world from me. I'm taking your world from you. I think it's one of those kind of things. And he also does make the statement of, I'm taking it over for my Kryptonian brothers. Like, we need a new planet. We got nowhere to go. We've got a yellow sun here, so you can't stop me. And I'm already here.
Oh, by the way, comments clarified. There is a person in the House of L over there. I'm not kidding. His name is Crew L. He's a disgraced criminal member of the Kryptonian family. He's Jor-El's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys in the comments giving us a little nugget of information there.
I always enjoy that because I've learned in this career, there is always someone that knows more than I do. Yeah. And I always appreciate when they give that information in a nice and productive way instead of just being a d-hole.
Yeah. The Young Justice comment sections rarely has any of those people in it. Yeah, I'm a little heartbroken that this is the last, like the penultimate episode of Young Justice as a whole.
Right.
I'd love it if it was the season and I knew another season was coming.
Right.
And the thing is, like Greg Weisman has said on Twitter many times, him and Brandon Vietti don't believe in endings. They think that a universe should go on forever and we should keep telling stories. And he said if he could do Young Justice forever, he would do Young Justice forever. And I love that mentality.
That's the name of the next season.
Dude,
Young
he's
Justice
been tweeting
forever.
Oh my gosh! If it would be an insane Twitter campaign, but he's been, guys. If you ever want to throw some love his way on Twitter, do that. He gets some terrible people tweeting at him. If you follow Greg Weisman on Twitter, God, there was a guy who went on this whole rant who was like, "You had 52 episodes to end this series, and it's your woke fault for not doing it." And he said, "Your woke fault." It was just like tired of these muddied up storylines. This has been so much worse than the first two seasons. I don't know how you ever thought these were good. I like these seasons better than the first two.
I've been enjoying it a lot.
I hate to be that guy, but the first two seasons had nuances, but it was in a kid's show. These seasons get to be comfortable saying what needs to be said, you know?
Yeah.
It's great. We know that at one point, Superboy and Miss Martian, what was that? It was my favorite dialogue from season 3 because it's so like adult for this show where she's like, "Hey Clark," or "Hey Connor, what are you wearing?" He goes, "The usual." She's like, "What about you?" "Oh, my engagement ring." Just my engagement ring. And then he like flies into the bathroom. It's like, this is an adult show. Like, it's awesome. It's incredible. Someone else just pointed out it's a 22-minute episode, so there's not a lot they can do to wrap it up, which...
Right.
Oh, you can't wrap that up in 22 minutes. I hate to say it. I don't know how you could, but these writers are better than anyone can.
Do you think they're going to do anything with Geoforce in this last episode?
No, he's done. His arc is done.
Like, I don't know why they did focus on him. So, what about Halo? She can boom tube into...
by the way, apologies, guys. Halo recently non-binary. So I noticed last episode there were some comments about it. Them.
Oh, did we say she?
We said we did.
Because I remembered that, and there was actually a big important scene in that one because she shows up, or they show up, and the
Ambassador Bazovi
goes, is she going to be your queen? And she goes, "No, they won't," and she leaves. Yeah. And I thought that was kind of big. But like I said, there are just so many different players on the field.
Yeah. If Halo would boom tube to Nightwing and heal him right now, that's the other resolution.
Exactly.
Halo's the only person who can do that.
Yeah. Like, there you go. Like, that's another one of those ones where it's like Dick might be dead or at least on the brink of death. Because let's be honest, I mean, in all actuality and in real life, people's hearts stop. But then they get it restarted.
They don't usually have a head full of blood, like a pool of blood on the floor.
I mean,
not usually,
not usually, but this is not something that cannot happen, is what I'm like. Exactly. Someone just said in our twitch.tv/Comicstorian comments, because we stream this live, he got shot in the head in the comics and survived. So it's like, the dude's durable. The dude is durable.
Don't you dare bring up Rick Grayson here in this house, okay?
I guess my hope in regards to the Dick not being dead is I don't want him dead, but I do not want time travel. I do not want time travel. That being said, though, at the same
okay
time,
with
I'm
it
pretty
if
sure
it's
that
these writers.
I'm pretty sure that bus time traveled. So they've already got a time travel machine.
Well, no,
and
they have
they're
the time-
in it.
Yeah, and they can. Bart knows how to create a time machine. He's a chronotron expert. Yeah. He can create a time machine. He like literally.
There's so
is
many.
a
There's so many
chronotron
aspects, and I think what makes this show so great and this episode so great is all these thoughts we're having, all the potential that this last episode has. There's no way it's 22 episodes. I really hope that they go, okay, final episode, it's an hour long or 40 minutes. I desperately
Greg
hope.
Wiseman said it's not. Someone tweeted him about it. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I don't trust.
Maybe
I don't trust them.
Sometimes he's a little cheeky. Most of the
Andrew
time he's
Garfield said for the longest time he wasn't in No Way Home, and
Oh
ever
my
since,
God.
no one can be
Spoilers,
trusted.
Dan. It's
I
been
know.
6 months. Some people
It's
still
been
haven't
6
seen
months,
Spider-Man
and
No
they've
Way Home.
changed all the promotional material to have all three on it now.
As they should. Yeah,
Ugh.
look, this show's incredible. I'm going to hedge my bet on time travel. I do think if this show does time travel, it will be done really poignantly. You know, I really hope part of me wished I was wrong, because if they did do time travel, it would have been a really cool reveal, but it was my instant thought when I was watching it that because that's what they did in Apocalypse War. They didn't do time travel in the sense of they went back and fixed it. It ended by Barry Allen creating another Flashpoint because the universe was so ruined.
Yeah, John Constantine is like, how is it going to get worse?
How could it possibly get worse? Bro, insane Nightwing sitting there.
I'm going to have to rewatch
jacket.
that because I loved that. I loved that movie.
It was so...
It's so dark, but so good.
My boy was dead, and they finally introduced Wallace West in that movie, and he's also just killed in the first sequence. Yeah. It's Phil Barassa, the art director of Young Justice, did the art direction for that.
Now, let me ask you this. How would you feel if Dick dies and stays dead, and the season ends with their post-credit scene with a eulogy at Nightwing's funeral?
I would be heartbroken. I don't think that character has been given the time he deserves as Nightwing, as a leader, as a hero.
But
it would be the saddest death ever.
How many times in comics and shows have we seen the hero that left, was happy, got pulled back in and died?
Dude, that would be very depressing.
And on that note, I think we should wrap this up because we are at the same length as a Young Justice episode.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm Hassan. That's Dan. We've been Absolutely Marvel and DC, and we will catch you next week. I'm forcing Benny to watch this, guys. I will keep texting him for the finale of Young Justice Phantoms and maybe the series finale of Young Justice altogether. Stay tuned. We'll catch you guys soon.